everybody, how are you all doing today? Back again with some Blender and Krita. Gonna continue with documentation today a bit more, and hopefully next time I actually start trying out making something on both Blender and Krita. But right now we're starting off as usual with the Blender section. For those you looking at the VOD, that's the only part you need to worry about. Since both parts of the stream will get separated into their own little video. Well, quote unquote little. And as for what you're saying there, God ever I can't probably read it, sorry. Got over got over everything 01. Hopefully I got that right. I do have a Discord channel and with several topics where we can chat and get to know each other. Just go hop on right on over and pick a channel and we can talk there. I reserve DMs for when absolutely necessary. Well, before I start commissioning anyone, which honestly I would be commissioning someone if I had the money, but right now it's not not an option for me. And let's see. And share whatever it is you make as well. Like I do have an art section. I have a creators corner down below. I do need to expand upon it. I got promotion, I got art, I got the clips section. I do want to add more stuff to it. I just haven't thought of what I can add to it yet. But anyways, I already got documentation ready, at least for Blender right now. Where we're gonna continue looking at the editor part of things and get the music going, because for some reason YouTube bugged out. Wait, I think I've had this one before on. Oh, come on there, what the hell's wrong with YouTube right now? Get the music going automatically, would ya? Hopefully the music's not too loud. And let's see. I'm going to lower it from my headset because it's a bit loud on my headset though. Where did we left off last time? Last time we did the whole snapping part, and I don't think we did I think we got to the proportional editing, but we didn't look at it. No, we definitely did not look at this, because I don't recall actually reading or seeing any of this. It's something I might actually need to learn if I intend to make anything in Blender, which hopefully next time I might actually open it and actually start doing things there, which is I really want to start making things on both Blender and Krita. I just haven't decided on what. Maybe anyone that does and is on my Discord channel, in my Discord server, maybe on the arts channel, leave a suggestion of what should be the first thing I make over on Blender. Something simple, so I can start as for practice. Now let's see. Proportional editing. Header via this icon. Hotkey O. Okay. Right. I forgot. I don't think. No, I don't have the desktop audio on. What a dumbass I am. Sorry about that. The desktop audio should be working right now, and the music should be coming through now. Once YouTube decides to fix itself. Let's see. Proportional editing is a way of transforming selected elements, such as vertices, while having that transformation effect transformation affect other nearby elements. For example, having a movement of a single vertex cause the movement of the unselected vertices within the given range. Let me position myself a little better. Unselected vertices that are close to the selected vertex will move more than those further from it, i.e. they will move proportionally relative to the location of the selected element. Since proportional editing affects the nearby geometry, it is very useful when you need to smoothly deform the surface of the dense mesh. Note, Blender also has sculpting that contains brushes and tools for proportionally editing a mesh without seeing the individual vertices. Okay, that's actually good to know. So in sculpting mode, I can't see the vertices, but I can still edit them in some way, shape, or form. Controls. Disable O, Alt O. Proportional editings of only selected vertices will be affected. Enabled, same way, vertices other than the selected vertices are affected within the radius. Okay. You influence. You can increase or decrease the radius of the tool's influence during the transformation. Transform operations. Sorry about that. Without mouse wheel. Oh, interesting. Or page up and down. I'm happy with the mouse wheel actually. Respectively. As you change the radius, this point surrounding your selection will adjust their position accordingly. So if I want to adjust a little bit, make it only for a large area, just make it big. Now let's see. Fall off. While editing, you can change the curve profile with the curve profile used by either using the header icon fall off menu or by pressing Shift O to toggle between the various options. There is a constant fall off, which can't really tell what this is doing. The random fall off, which I guess I could use that to make mountains of some sort. The randomness might actually help. Linear fall off, easy pyramid, I guess. Or something along those lines. A sharp fall off, which is interesting. Root fall off. Kind of just an inverted sharp, I guess. Sphere fall off, which is more drastic by the looks of it. Smooth fall off. Guess I could use that to make some hills. Inverse square fall off. Okay, this one I actually can't tell what it's just doing. Just looks like a fatter smooth. It's like somewhere in between smooth and sphere. But why square? Can't really tell what it's doing, at least not on this angle. I kinda wish we could explain the effect. Like I said, this looks like just a middle point between these two, but I can't really tell what it's exactly doing? Because its name says square, but this doesn't look like a square at all. What was this? Object mode. Proportional editing is typically used in edit mode. However, it can be used in object mode. In object mode, the tool works on entire objects rather than individual mesh components. Okay. In the image below, the right cylinder is called along. Wait, no. Let me start over. In the image below, the right cylinder is scaled along the z-axis when the proportional editing is enabled. The adjacent cylinders are also within the tool radius of influence. Yes, it's bigger in the middle and the further away from it just smaller. Except for what's outside of it, which is straight up not affected by it. Like, a better explanation would be necessary. Yeah, it tells me it can be done, but what exactly does it do? Give me a second, I just got a message on my phone. Let's see. That got me a bit off track, sorry. I just needed you to look at that message. It was from family. Edit mode. When working with dense geometry, it can become difficult to make subtle adjustments to the vertices without causing visible lumps and creases in the model's surface. When you face situations like these, the proportional editing tool can be used to smoothly deform the surface of the model. This is done by the tool's automatic modification of unselected vertices within the range. So here they moved it without it, then they selected it and moved it again, and they didn't move it. It just corrected itself. That little pause there was just because I need to drink some water. Actually, it is summer for me right now where I'm at, so I'll be drinking water every so often. Options. Connected only, rather than using radius. Only, which is not explained yet here. The proportional fall-off spreads via connected geometry. This means that you can proportionally edit the vertices in a finger of the hand without affecting the other fingers. Okay. While the other vertices are physically close in 3D sphere. Okay. These are far away, following the topological edge connection of the mesh. The icon will have a blue center, then when connected is active. This model is only available in edit mode. Okay. I kind of didn't understand what that was meant. What I was trying to say. Because it says radius only, but it didn't explain what radius only is. Is that the default or something? I also don't really have an image showing an example of how that works. I'll have to look up an example of how that actually works. Projected from view. Depth along the view is ignored when applying the radius. So looking in this direction, they edit in. This is what it looks like when they move the camera. But in this case, it was different. Like it moved this whole thing like it was a piece of paper. Example. The image below shows the final render of a low poly landscape obtained by moving up the vertices of the triangulated grid with enabled proportional editing. Which, I'm not gonna lie, this looks nice. I do see this would be used on a game with low poly graphics. And oh, that was it for what was that part for controls? And I guess we're moving on to display, I guess. This is still within the editor section of Blender, so well, let's see. Check types visibility. In the objects types visibility popover, the visibility and selectability per type of object can be specified. This will limit the visibility and selectability per 3D object. The object type that can be changed are mesh, curve, surface, meta, text, grease pencil, armature. I don't think I pronounced this properly. Lattice. How do you pronounce this? I have no idea how to pronounce this word. I don't know what it is. Empty, light probe, camera, and speaker. When visibility is turned off, any object of this kind will not be rendered in the 3D viewport. When selectability is turned off, any object of this kind will not be selectable via the 3D viewport. Viewport gizmo. I think we're like getting a more detailed stuff of some thing we saw an overview, like I think it was on user interface or something like that. But we did get an overview of something like this. The way how gizmos are displayed in the 3D viewport can be changed in the viewport gizmo popover. There is a switch to turn off all the gizmos of the 3D viewport. Viewport gizmos. Negative. Enable, disable the negative. The navigation gizmo. Oh, navigate, not negative. Where did I get the negative? It's navigate. Of which I don't know why you would disable it. Active tool. Enable, disable the gizmos of the active tool. Active object. Enable, disable the gizmos of the active object. Object gizmos. Orientation. The orientation to use the gizmos can the gizmo. The orientation can be configured in the viewport orientation. Orientation. Maybe I guess that's somewhere else. Move shows the gizmos to control the location. Rotate controls the rotation. Scale, that's self-explanatory. Empty, gizmo settings for empties. Image shows the gizmos to adjust the image size and position of emptiness. Force field shows the gizmos to adjust the force field. Okay, I might need a better explanation of what this would actually be, like what this actually is doing, or I need to look up an example. Because I feel like there's a lot of information missing. What this actually is used for, or how it even works. An example would have been useful. Light gizmo settings for light. Size shows the gizmo to adjust the size of lights. Look at shows the gizmo to adjust the direction of the light. Camera gizmo settings for camera lens shows the gizmo to adjust the lens and orthographic size. Focus distance shows the gizmo to adjust the focus distance. Okay, that felt very useless. That didn't tell me much about the gizmos. That almost felt like a waste of time, because I might need to experiment with the gizmos to properly understand it, or find someone that actually explains it with examples. That was very lacking. Viewport overlay. Using the viewport overlay popover setting for the overlay can be configured. There is a switch to turn off all overlays on the 3D viewport. The options that are visible in the popover depends on the mode that the 3D viewport is in. Object mode. The next options are always present, independent in the current mode. Guides. Grid shows grid in the orthographic side view, which I actually don't remember what that was. I forget what orthographic was. Floor shows the ground plane, XYZ shows the X or Y or Z axis. Line. Scale, the distance between lines in the grid floor. Subdivision, the number of subdivisions between grid lines. Show information such as view perspective, playback FPS, current frame number, and the name of the active collection and objects. Statistics shows information about the amount of objects and geometry. Objects, number of the selected objects, and total count. Geometry displays the information about the current scene depending on the mode and object type. This can be the number of vertices, faces, triangles, or bones. HDRI preview. What the devil does HDRI stand for? Shows two spheres, one glossy and one diffused. To preview HDRIs used in material preview and rendered shading modes. But it's not telling me which HDRI is. What? I don't think I've even heard HDRI. I hear HD and makes me see of almost like HDMI, like the cable, but HDRI, high definition render something, high definition render image. That's what I'm guessing. I'm not entirely sure actually. That's just a wild guess on my part. Which in that case, like, because that's what it feels like makes most sense in my perspective at least. 3D cursor shows the 3D cursor overlay. Annotation, show the annotation overlay. Object extra shows detail of objects including empty wire, camera, and other visual guides. Okay. Relationship lines shows dashes, shows dashed lines indicating parent or constraint relationship. Outline selected shows the outline highlight around the selected object. Bone shows bones. Disable to only show their motion path. Motion path shows a motion path overlay, but doesn't tell me what motion path is actually used for. Origin shows the object origin of the active object. Origin all shows the object origin of all objects. I feel like motion path needs to be explained more because I don't know what motion path is referring to. Like, yeah, it definitely shows the motion path, but what is motion path? Like, does it tell me what it is? And let's just move on. Geometry wireframe shows the face edge overlay. Wireframe adjusts the number of wires to display. 0.1 means show all wires. Okay. I guess that would be useful if you're like trying to select something very specific, but you don't need all the wires to be visible at once. Or maybe helps to select multiple by reducing the number of wires that you select, like a bigger surface area or something. That's just me just guessing. Let me join something. Sorry, needed to drink. Face orientation shows a face orientation overlay. The face orientation overlays all faces where the face normal point towards the camera are colored blue. All faces are the face normal point away from the camera are colored red. With this overlay, it is easy to detect the orientation of the face normals. Motion tracking shows a motion tracking overlay. Camera path shows a reconnection camera path. Okay. Marker names shows the names of reconstructed track objects. Tracks changes the display of the reconstructed tracks. Plane axis, arrows, single arrow, circle, cube, sphere, cone. Okay. Size changes the display size of the reconstructed tracks. I don't think I understood that properly. This is more for animation, I guess, which I haven't gotten to. Animation is actually quite a ways in. Where was it? Here it is. Animations and rigging, which is I'm gonna have to look at that once I get you something that needs to be animated or something. Which that's later down the line. I'm not gonna focus on it at all yet. Mesh edit mode. Like first I want to learn how to make something and maybe make several things to get the hang of actually modeling. Then I'll start looking into animation, which I'll probably come back to this and go to the animation and rigging section. If I happen to start with something, I'll probably come here and look for the other stuff and try and figure it out then. The next options are available when the edit mesh mode. Edges, highlighted, selected, and partially selected edges only affects vertex and faces selected mode, as edges are always highlighted and edges are in edges select mode. Excuse me. Faces highlights the faces using the face overlay that applies to both selected and unselected faces. Affects all selection modes. Okay. Center shows the face center point in solid shading mode. Only affects face selected mode, but face affects everything, didn't it? And of course, cloud engine in the background. Sorry about that. Creases, I think that's how it's pronounced. Displays edges marked with the creases for a subdivision surface modifier. Okay. Sharp edges used with the edge split modifier. Bevel displays weights created for the beveled modifier. This means this is going to be explained with more details elsewhere. Where? I don't know. Seams displays a UV unwrapping seam. Edge marks and face marks used by freestyle, which I don't know how much freestyle I will do. I'm mostly gonna try to look for some like templates to start off with. I don't know yet. Particularly when I start making something like a bit more complex. Shading. Hidden wire shows only front-facing wireframe. This is useful for the retopology workflow, which I don't know what retopology is. Tip: optionally, this could be contained with the X-ray display setting. Vertex group. Wait. Excuse me. Excuse me. I tried to hold that one in a little bit, as much as I could. Where was I? Alright, vertex group weight. Displays weights in edit mode. 0 weight to display unreferenced and 0 weight areas in black. This helps to identify areas with very low weight that has been painted into. None vertices are displayed in the usual way. Active shows in black vertices with no weight in the active group. All the vertices that shown in black if the 0 weight is all groups. Mesh analysis shows a mesh analysis overlay. See mesh okay, so this is gonna be probably something long. That's why they gave it its own little section somewhere. And that's not here. It's probably here in modeling. Probably. Measurement. Numerical measurement of the selected element on screen as part of the text info overlay. The units can be set in the scene properties. Edge length shows the length of selected edges. Edges angle shows the angles of selected edges between two faces. Face area shows the area of selected faces. Face angle shows the angle of the selected face corners. Tip: geometry connected to the selection is shown while transforming, allowing you to move a vertex and see the connected edge lengths, for example. Note: these values respect global local. The global if you want the object scale to be applied to the measurement. Okay, normals. Display vertex normals, faces, normals at vertices, split normals, displays face normals. Size, the size to show the selected normals. What is normals, to be precise here? Like some kind of display it is. An example would have been great. I'm not gonna have to really mess with that. Developer in this again. English is not my main language. That's why some words are hard for me. English is actually my second language. So that's why when I do Unreal Engine with my friend Jim, he's the one reading it. He says English is his first and only language, as far as I know. Press the index of selected vertices, edges, and faces. Freestyle, which I probably won't do anytime soon. Edge marks displays freestyle edge marks used with a freestyle render. Face marks displays freestyle face marks used with a freestyle render. Sculpt mode. Mask shows mask as overlay on object. The opacity of the overlay can be adjusted. Face set shows face set as overlay on the object. The opacity of the overlay can be adjusted. I see like very little description on a lot of stuff. I would like a bit more detail on sculpt mode. Maybe that'll be explained more down in modeling, maybe? Maybe show some examples of how it works? Or maybe I'll just have to mess with that myself, which is why probably by next week I'm gonna have Blender open and Krita for the Krita section and try to make something. If you're watching about, leave a recommendation of what should be the first thing I make on Blender down in the description below, or if you're, or maybe in my Discord arts section. Vertex paint opacity, the opacity of the overlay. Show wire. Use wireframe displays in paint mode. Weight paint opacity, the opacity of the overlay. Zero weight to display unreferenced and zero weight areas in black. This helps to identify areas with very low weight that have been painted onto. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Must have been what I ate. This is just feel like it's repeating itself. It's just repeating itself again. From which one was it? From this one, so it's pretty much repeating that. a mistake maybe? I don't know. Let's skip this part because it makes no sense. Actually, I'm gonna read these actually at least. Show weight counters. Show counter lines formed by points with the same interpolate weight. Interpolated weight. There it is. Show wires. Use wireframe display in paint mode. Which I don't know why you would use that, or how you would use a wireframe, since you cannot see the faces in wireframe mode, wouldn't you? Texture paint opacity. The opacity of the overlay. That's it? That's it for texture paint? Just opacity? Isn't there any other shenanigans for it? No? Okay. Pose mode. I'll probably be using this when I start messing with maybe characters or creatures or something, when I start to get to the more advanced stuff. Fade geometry shows the bones on top and face other geometries to the back. The opacity can be controlled with the slider. Okay. Grease pencil. Onion skin shows ghost of the keyframes before and after the current frame. Canvas displays a grid over grease pencil drawing plane. The opacity of the grid can be controlled with the slider when using the canvas X-ray. Options option objects are drawn behind the canvas grid. Fade layers decrease the opacity of all the layers in the objects other than the active objects. The opacity factor can be controlled with the slider. If we can use that for more than just that. Hey, maybe we want to make a ghost and we want to leave some of that opacity in some way, shape, or form. Fade objects cover all viewports except the active grease pencil object with a full color layer to improve visibility while drawing over complex scenes. Fade grease pencil object includes or excludes grease pencil object. I really don't know what grease pencil would be. I'm no artist, so I don't know these sort of terms. I mean, a pencil's a pencil for me. Edit lines shows edit lines when editing strokes only in multi-frame. Shows edit lines only when using multi-frame editor, which hopefully they explain what multi-frame is later down the line. Be nice. Stroke directions toggles the displays of the stroke starts point green and end point red to visualize the line's direction. Material name shows material name next to the linked strokes. Vertex opacity for edit. Vertices. Vertex paint opacity, the opacity of the overlay. Yeah, I'm actually gonna skip this. This one I'm not really liking. Okay, what just happened? Okay, there we go. and I'll be right back. I actually need to go to the bathroom real quick, so I'll only be for a minute. So be right back, everyone. I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's start off with viewport shading, which this is going by quick. Like a lot of this is like very short explanations, and I feel like a lot of it is like missing information. I almost feel like just opening Blender right now and trying to make, I don't know, a table? Maybe a pot? A chair? That's the thing, I don't know what would be the recommended object to make for a first timer. Any recommendation would be welcome. Even if someone watching this live right now on the chat maybe gives their recommendation, then I'll just open Blender and give it a go. I don't know. And until I can decide, or somebody gives me a suggestion of what to make for the first thing, then I'll probably start it next week, making something on Blender. Like I said, I'd like to start something simple, but not too simple, like something that will actually make me practice. Let's see, the shading of the 3D viewport can be adjusted to match the task at hand. There are several modes to choose from. Note, the material preview option is not available when the render engine of the scene is set to workbench. Okay, that's good to know. Wireframe shows the full scene by only displaying the edges of the object's wireframes. Color single renders the whole scene using a single color. So I'm guessing something like gray or something along those lines, because I've seen some Blender streamers when they are modeling, and sometimes they're most just like all gray. And even if they have color, they only have a way to go back to it at any given point. So I'm guessing that's what this is supposed to be. Objects. Use the color that can be set per object in the viewport display objects panel. A random color will be selected for every object in the scene, which I guess you would use this sort of to test how it works. I don't know how or why you would use random. Again, I'm no artist, so I don't know. background. How the background is displayed in a 3D viewport. Theme uses the background of the theme. World uses the world viewport display option. Viewport selects the custom color for the background in a 3D viewport. Options. X-ray renders the scene transparent. With the slider you can control how transparent the scene should appear. The wireframe mode of the opacity of the black wires can be adjusted. Outline renders the outline of objects in the viewport. The color of the outline can be adjusted. Okay. Solids shows the scene using in solid mode. This mode utilizes the workbench engine to render the 3D viewport. The light, color, and options can be found in the workbench render engine selection. Background, the way the background is displayed in the 3D viewport. Theme uses the background and of the theme, which really doesn't tell me much what this actually is. Like, where is these themes coming from? What themes are available? Or how to even set it? There's enemies here, but how do I set it? Like, where in the menu would this be? World. Use the world viewport display option. Viewport selects the custom color from the background of the 3D viewport. Material preview renders the 3D viewport with Eevee and the HDRI environment. This model is particularly suited for previewing materials and texture painting. You can select different lighting conditions to test your material, which is actually something that can be very useful if I want you to like make something and see how it looks with light coming in from different directions. Lighting. Scene lights uses the lights in the scene when rendering the scene. Scene world uses the world of the scene when rendering the scene. When turned off, a world will be constructed with the next option. HDRI environment. The environment map used the light used to light the scene. Rotation, sorry about that. The rotation of the environment on the Z-axis. Strength, light intensity of the environment. World opacity. The opacity levels of the HDRI will be rendered as background in the 3D viewport. Blur factor to unlock the HDRI environment. Note that this does not change the diffusion of lighting, only the appearance of the colors. Render pass. Instead of the combined render, shows other render paths useful to analyze and debug geometry materials and lighting. Renders the 3D viewport with the scene render engine. For interactive rendering, by default the scene lights are used for lighting, and HDRI environment can be used as well. with the same option as preview mode. Render pass instead of the combined render render shows another render pass useful to analyze and debugging geometry, materials, and lighting. Okay, since we haven't gone reached any debugging part, we know. And okay, we've already displayed so. I thought that display would be much longer. Oh well. I guess we're into the toolbar section of this. I guess we're finally gonna get to what grease pencil is, probably. But let's move along. Okay. And I'm already just analyzing the image that I'm looking at right now. Measure. The measure tool is an interactive tool where you can drag lines in the scene to measure distance or angles. Snapping to geometry could be activated for better accuracy, or to measure wall thickness. The measure tool can be accessed from the toolbar. I guess I could use this to determine the height of objects. Maybe to be a more realistic height, or maybe to take into consideration like character heights that I might make. For example, on a game I hope to one day make, but that's way down the future because it's gonna be some kind of RPG, and RPGs are not easy to make. Like if I want to make some objects on that game, none of my characters there are gonna be human, and they're all gonna be of different heights. Some are gonna be big, some are gonna be small, and I'm gonna need to probably use this to maybe get something like properly sized by default when I put it down, and I won't need to resize it as much unless I need to make something unique. Or maybe I'm making it for like to be repeatable and or reused in some way, shape, or form. But I do see myself, even for this will also be useful to determine the height of my characters properly. Let's see, examples of the measure tool usage. Here are some common steps for using the measure tool. Activated the measure tool from the toolbar. Click and drag in the viewport to define the initial start and end point of the ruler. You can add multiple rulers in the viewport. Let me fix the music real quick. There you go. Adjust it properly. Hopefully it keeps on working from here on. Click on either end of the ruler to select it and move the endpoints. Holding control while moving enables a snap edges and vertices. A small circle appears and then when the endpoint is snapped to the vertex or edge. This way you can place the endpoint more accurately. That's good to know. Holding shift while moving lets you measure the distance between faces. This works well only with parallel faces, e.g. walls, or floors, or roofs, I guess. You can always navigate, pan, zoom, or change the view orthogonal perspective in the viewport to have a better access to the ruler. Click on the midpoint to create of the created ruler to convert it to a protractor. Move this midpoint to set the vertex of the angle. Holding down Control enables snap to edges and vertices. Move the endpoint to change the angle size. A selected ruler can be deleted by pressing delete or X to delete all measurements. Make the sidebar view annotation panel visible. Delete the ruler 3 data 3D layer. See image above. Which I'll see after reading this part. You can copy the measurement value to the clipboard. Control C. This is the layer they're talking about. Like getting rid of this layer right here. All measurements are hidden when another tool is selected. They are shown when the measure tool is selected again. Yet you can do edit operations while the ruler is active. For example, you gotta fix music. You can edit the rotation or dimensions of the selected object in the sidebar. The measurement value do not appear in the render output until settings and grand scales from the scenes are used for displaying dimensions. Changing the unit system metric, imperial, or the units of length, centimeters, meters, or angles, degrees, radian, will update the measurements. We have the metric system here, so none of that uses imperial one. Tip: the edit mode in edit mode only, there is also a measurement setting in the viewport overlay popover. Edge length, edge angle, face area, and face angle can be disabled through this setting. Okay. Wait, what, already? Okay. Properties. Why do I feel like I just skipped a bunch of stuff? Oh, let me go back real quick. Okay. Did I just go from... Wait, I don't know about your toolbar. Yeah, it went from here? Like, skipped all of this just now. Unless it's all found somewhere else. I don't get it. Why does it go from here? If I hit next, why does it go from measurements, which is part of the toolbar, and just skips out of it? It like doesn't cover edit mode. Which, let me open this on the side to see where this takes me. Oh, that skips like far. You're seeing the options he's modeling, so why is this here then if I'm not supposed to be looking at this stuff yet? weird, like a jet measurement, but why have these here if they're not, if they don't do anything? It just goes out of the toolbar and into properties of the sidebar. Which fortunately is all covered right here, fortunately, so we should be able to go through this relatively quickly. Let me check how long I've gone since this so always between an hour and a half and 2 hours. Although I'm trying to keep it within the hour and a half, just in case. Well, Krita is just about an hour, sometimes less. At least for now. Maybe when I start to get drying, maybe I'll extend that a bit more. Same goes for Blender. Sidebar items shows transform settings of the active objects. Tools shows settings of the active tool and workbench. Okay, that's a repeated view. View panel. The view panel lets you set other settings regarding 3D viewport. You can show it with view properties, menu entry. Excuse me. Local length controls the local length of the viewport camera in the millimeters, unlike the rendering camera. Why millimeters? It's kind of weird. Might have to get used to that maybe. Clip start end. Adjust the minimum maximum distance range to limit the visible range to the area between two panels that are orthogonal to the viewing direction of the viewport camera. Objects outside the range will not be shown. Note, the definition of the two planes depends on the kind of view. Perspective view, the planes with distance of start and end from viewport camera. Orthographic view, the planes with distance of negative end and positive end from the focus point. In this case, the start is ignored. Why is it ignored? Warning: a large clipping range will allow you to see both near and far objects, but reduce the depth perception, resulting in artifacts. In some cases, a very large range may cause operations that depend on depth buffer to become unreadable. Through this depends on the graphics card and driver. Okay, that part kind of worries me. See, troubleshooting depth buffering glitches for more information. So if I start having issues, that's where I need to go then. Because I may have a GTX 960, which isn't great, which is why probably I was thinking maybe going for the... If I start doing modeling, maybe do a low poly or sort of low poly model. Or something along those lines. So as not to overwhelm my PC with both OBS and Blender and Krita as well. Although Krita's multi-duty, so I'm not too worried too much about there. I did have issues though with it last time. Hopefully I don't have those issues if it gets hands-on. Local camera. Use the local camera in this view. Selected from the object selector rather than the scene global active camera. Render region. Use the render region where not looking through the camera using Control B to draw a region will automatically enable this option. View lock. Lock to objects. Data ID that defines an object as the center of the view. In this case, the view can be rotated around or zoomed towards that central object, but not while you move the object itself. This option is not available in camera view. Okay, I think I get it. If I understand this correctly, like, I will always be looking at it, regardless if I move the camera, it'll just be like orbiting around it, not really moving away from it. It'll just stay on focus, always on said object. Which I do see its uses, but I also do see its problems. When I want to focus on something like very specific, then I don't want it to be focused on the middle of that. I want you to actually be able to move it more, have a bit more freedom of movement, which is something I probably feel more comfortable with. Lock. The 3D cursor locks to 3D cursor. Locks the center of the view to the position of the 3D cursor. It is only available when lock to object is not active. Camera to view. When in the camera view, all changes in the view, pan, rotation, zoom, will affect the active camera. The camera frame will be outlined with a red dashed line. Charger holder in the Leon. It's been a long day for me. The heat doesn't help. And this will move the camera's parent, which can be useful with camera rigs. Use a camera parent lock preference to change this behavior. Okay. 3D cursor location. The location of the 3D cursor. Rotation mode. Like, these sound very self-explanatory, so I'm not gonna read those. Collection. The collection panel shows the list of collections and can be used to control the visibility of collections in the viewport. If the collections contain objects, there is a circle to the left of the collection's name. If the collection is empty, there is no circle to the left of the collection name. I think... No, my headset was a bit loud. But I'm not really liking this one. Okay, there, it stopped with a weird piano stop. That was getting weird. Sorry about that. Local collection allows this list of visible collections to be controlled per viewport rather than globally. Hiding viewport icon. Collections can be hidden in the viewport by clicking on the icon. By clicking directly on the collection's name, it isolates the collection by hiding all other collections and showing the direct parent and all the children of the selected collection. Also read more about collection, so collection has some little sections, which hopefully gets into it more detail once, if I ever come to need to go through that. Viewport render, which I guess is kind of cool. What is seen right there? Viewport render uses the 3D viewport rendering for quick preview renders. This allows you to inspect your animatic for object movement, alternate angles, etc. This can also be used for preview animation. In the event your scene is not too complex for your system to play back in real time in the 3D viewport. Hey there, Cross-Color returns. How you doing? Okay, this is in solid mode, like there's no textures, right? Just random colors. Viewport rendering using material preview mode, which I guess is just simple textures in this case. And for render, it's all shadows and background and actual textures. I'm doing A-okay. Just learning Blender for hopefully maybe next Tuesday I'll actually use Blender and try to make something. I just haven't decided on what to make first, so if to practice. I don't want to make something too complex. I want to try and keep it simple. I just don't know what. Also not too simple, that because I do need like the practice to try and get the hang of Blender. And later Krita, which this is just a Blender section which has about 10 more minutes. Maybe once I get through this whole section, I'll move on over to Krita. I'll probably just do the YouTube outro and move on to that. Tip: disable overlay to render the viewport without any additional overlay. While this option is not specific, the viewport rendering it's often useful to enable, since it removes data such as rigs and empty that can be a distraction. You call yourself dumb on the title? Because I am a dumb dragon. I am no artist. I don't know how to do any of this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I do want to learn Blender and Krita, but my attempts at art outside of stream have all been horrendous. And I've never used Blender, to be honest. I'm clueless on how things work. That's why for starters, I've been reading through some of the documentation. I do understand, I think, a few things, but I think I'll understand them better once I actually start making something. I'm merely a programmer, not an artist, but I do feel like I need to learn this stuff. I want to learn this. And if I do, who knows, maybe I'll end up making like my own model, like my own avatar. Maybe on Krita I can start making some modes or things like that. You're dumb, but I mean you get it better art. You already made a great model. Yeah, this model was made from a template using bits and pieces on a Chinese website. That you can probably tell like some of the parts don't even match the art style, but it's the best I could do with what I had available at that time. But I do want to update it. I do want to make something better. If I learn Krita, I can make a new 2D model maybe. If I learn Blender, maybe I'll make a low poly one, since I questioned my hardware for the 3D model. But I do still want to learn this. find out the model is. Thank you. It is the closest I managed to get to what I actually had in mind. It is like really close, at least on what's visible. I am hoping to make a full body of him eventually. Will say this: once I draw him, it's not gonna look good. Like I said, I use bits and pieces of existing art that was available on a Chinese website. I did translate the licensee, so I know I'm allowed to use it here. So that's why I'm not worried about any copyright or anything like that. Like the licensee showed, I can use it for this. I lost the website, unfortunately. I don't remember what the website was called or where I even found it. That was a long time ago. Like around March, it's gonna be like 3 years since I've been streaming. Of which, probably the first month or two was with a camera, but then I switched over to a model, which I feel a lot more comfortable with. I hope so. I'm gonna get through this real quick so I can actually finish up this Blender section and move on to the Krita documentation. And hopefully next stream on both Krita and Blender I can actually make something to start practicing. Hopefully. Who knows, maybe on the Krita part I'll try to draw something to use for TTS. I've been trying to set that up for the V-Stream alerts, but maybe I can use it for more than that. We all start somewhere, and that's how we learn from our mistakes. True. Let's see. Settings. For the most part, viewport render uses the current viewport settings. Some settings are located in the render panel of the render engine that is used for to render the view. I'll probably start off simple, like low poly stuff, because I do question my own hardware with OBS on. Now, probably without OBS, I could probably make something a lot more detailed. But with OBS on, I do feel like I'm maybe limited to a few things. I don't know how much. I don't have the best hardware, nor can I afford anything better at the current time. I've been tempted to maybe make a GoFundMe to upgrade my computer, but I don't think that'll get anywhere at the current time. Solid mode uses render settings of Workbench. Material preview mode uses the render settings of Eevee. I see this Eevee and it makes me immediately think of Pokemon. I don't know why it's called like this. Like, I could already hear the boy on the back of my head when I read this. Of which, I saw a trailer of a Pokemon-like game with guns and crafting. What's it called? Power World or something like that? I am looking forward to that game, but unfortunately I can't even run that. It definitely looks like it would be fun for me. I mean, I would enjoy it. I don't know if it'll attract any viewers, but I feel like I would have fun on that game. Sampling and alpha transparency mode option can be set in properties render sampling. Make sure the Workbench or Eevee render engine is selected to see the appropriate values. That you join your Discord server, so I missed a few seconds. Don't worry about it. I did kind of start a tiny bit late since I was eating, and I was also at one point I had to go take a look at the baby because it came back from after having its vaccines and he's a bit moody. And my baby brother right now is being a bit moody because of vaccines. Additionally, some render settings are used too. Render dimensions, render aspects, file format and output, file path format, compression settings, etc. How many languages do you know? Currently just two. My main language, Spanish, and my second language, English. I do hope to one day learn another language, maybe more along the lines, probably Japanese. But I haven't really decided, nor have I found the time to go to do that, since I'm busy trying to survive pretty much. I'm unemployed, I'm looking for a job, and I still need to make ends meet somehow. Not to mention while trying to maintain my channel. I lost track, I think. Alright, I was right here. Rendering. Activating viewport render will render from the current active view. This means that if you're not in an active camera view, then the virtual camera is used to match the current perspective to get a image from the camera viewpoint, programming point of view. Enter the active camera view with number pad 0, which I'll probably remap this or use some different method, because that number pad is tied to my models, like my PNG's expression of my current model. So that's why you speak so silently when reading my English text. Sometimes. There will be words I struggle with. However, I found in this documentation some words I couldn't even pronounce. Sometimes I just do it to not intervene with whatever's happening on screen, or when my friend's talking. I guess I kind of got used to it. Kind of habit maybe I need to change. As with normal render, you can abort it with escape. Render a still image. To render a still image, use 3D viewport viewport render image. Render an animation, of which that's gonna be way down the line. I'm not gonna look into anything just yet. Like the fortress mechanic. Then Cardinal I can read, but the other ones Denal. I cannot pronounce that one as before Cardinal, actually. Fortress, I think that's properly pronounced. Although that's not a word I'm familiar with. Render keyframe. To render an animation, but only those frames that have a keyframe, use 3D viewport render keyframe. This only renders those frames from which the selected objects have animation keys. The other frames are still written to the output, but will simply repeat the last render frame. I knew you couldn't use that line from Nouvellette. Wait, that's actually a line from Nouvellette? Okay, I don't think I've heard that line yet. Since I haven't played the Fontaine story yet, I probably haven't heard that, because from his idle lines, I don't think I've heard that before yet. Unless I need to go into the menu part and listen to it from there. For example, when a 6 frame animation is rendered and the selected object has a keyframe on the third and fifth and on frames 3 and 5, the following frames will be output. First frames is always rendered. The first frame is repeated because there's no keyframe on the second one. Third frame is rendered. Third frame is repeated because there's no keyframe on the fourth one. The fifth frame is rendered, and on the sixth, the fifth one is repeated. Hello there, Galaxy Girl. How you doing? It's 4 a.m. I woke up at 1 a.m. I slept at 8. It's too early to be making me laugh so much. Why are you doing up so early? Shouldn't be asleep at that time? I know sometimes I stream around that time on my time zone. Like right now, it is 11:12 p.m. right now. You woke up at 1. You went to sleep at 8. You got roughly 5 hours of sleep, which... So, I guess it's okay. You did get some rest from that. Yeah, I don't wanna miss Jim's stream or yours. So... Oh, thank you. But do prioritize your health, please. And okay, that's it for the rendering part, and that already jumped into the image editor. I think if I don't already have something to make on Blender by next Tuesday, so I'll probably start this. But if I get any suggestions of what to do on Blender, whether it be through the comment sections of the video that this will be uploaded separately, or on my Discord channel's art section, then I'll probably just end up going through this image editor part. But hopefully by next time I can already start making something to start practicing. Tell me your backstory, how did you become a dragon? First let me close off this section so I can stop the recording for the YouTube. So, little quick YouTube outro. Like I said before, I'm new to Blender. I've never used it before. I have no idea what I'm doing. I know I'll probably understand more once I actually start making something. I just don't know what would be the best option to practice before I start getting to some more complex stuff, like making characters or like highly detailed objects or something along those lines. So any suggestions welcome, will be in the comments below or over on my Discord, of which links to it down in the description below. And yeah, that is gonna be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, maybe learned something from what I was reading, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye! And that's the end of the recording. Okay, as for the backstory, I kind of improvised one on over in VStream, which is a work in progress. But to get the backstory of my character of being a dragon, then speaking, I am a half demon dragon born in another universe, a completely different reality where dragons rule the world, with demons, dragons, and angel dragons being at the very top of the hierarchy. I, however, was destined to one day destroy the world, or at least according to an oracle, which I defied. But even though I defied it and still haven't destroyed my own world, other dragons weren't too happy with my presence, even though I technically rule over them, because I actually am strong enough to destroy any reality. So I just started hopping from reality to reality, destroying a few that were pretty much already doomed, and sparing the ones that show signs that deserve to be spared. And now I'm here because it's the only one of the few with good games, and I do enjoy games. And I enjoy streaming games more than just playing them. Like, I really do enjoy it. And now here I am, just a dumb, overpowered dragon from another universe, streaming some games, and now art now, or at least trying to. And that's a work in progress right now. I'm no writer, just so you know. I am no writer, which is why I haven't even started making a game I have in mind, an RPG, which is a long way from now. I'm still learning how to use Unreal. I need to figure. I need to like finish up, maybe make modifications to it. I don't know yet. Now I need to set up the Krita part of the stream, and I'm not gonna open Krita this time because none of it seems to be hands-on by the looks of it. Not like in one occasion where I was actually made like it made me try and make my own brush, which this is probably the part I'll start off mainly with next Tuesday, which again I need to decide what I'm gonna draw. And since it is a drawing and not just a 3D objects, maybe make something for TTS, or maybe try and make some form of emotes, or maybe a landscape, a simple landscape or structure. I haven't decided what I'm gonna draw first, so just for like at least for this I'm probably gonna just go through the documentations. Alright, let me get the recording started real quick, and do a little YouTube intro. What? Do you have a favorite animal or mythical animal? Real animal would be cats. I like cats. I just can't get enough of them. Heck, I even have a pet cat. I will always prefer cats over dogs or any other creature. As for mythical animals, that's a hard one, because I do like a lot of mythical creatures. It would be like dragons, lamias, harpies, minotaurs, the nekomadas, Dulahans are kind of interesting. Ogres, orcs, goblins. Not a big fan of the unicorns, especially since their actual mythology is that unicorns feed on human hearts. Well, let's see. Other mythical ones. I guess a Hydra is an interesting one. Cerberus, that's one I really like. Hellhounds. I do like my mythical creatures. I don't know like every single one of them. I don't know all their backstories. Phoenix and dragons are my favorite mythical animals. Phoenix are awesome. I still do consider birds being evil though. And yeah, I went with dragons, which it's like more like at the top of like my favorite mythical creatures. I can't remember what exactly attracted me to them. I just ended up like liking them a lot. I remember my first exposure to that media since in Argentina we never had any censorship on our media. We just got the translated and that's it, like no censoring at all. probably why Sensei was a success in Argentina, because we got the uncensored version. Okay, let me do a little YouTube intro. So let me start recording in 3, 2, 1. Hello there, YouTube and me streaming. I forgot that I can actually upload to you guys as well. Welcome to the little Krita section of my stream. I do stream this live alongside with Blender, starting off with Blender, doing up roughly an hour and a half up, and then I do like about an hour of Krita. That's probably why you see in the chat over on the side that already has some text in it. Because I tend to do these live, but I do like separate them for those interested in the specific, just that part of the stream. So right now we're going to continue with the documentation that I was going through last time, and hopefully by next Tuesday I will actually start with trying to draw something. I still haven't decided what I'm going to draw. I'm open for suggestion. For those watching the bot can leave it in the comments below, or hop on over to my Discord server and leave it on the arts channel. And let's see, let me just answer the chat real quick. Cats are also my favorite animal. I had a cat when I was younger, but we had to give her away. I really liked the cat, and the worst part was that they didn't tell me that they would give her away. Oof. Yeah, I had a similar situation back when I was a kid regarding a cat. They got rid of they gave the cat away without telling me, simply because it was always going after my grandma's birds. So and eventually got rid of it. It was a bit of a mischievous cat, but still a good cat. Fortunately, the cat I have now doesn't even try to go for the birds. Heck, the times I went for the birds, I brought them back alive, and I was able to release them. This is just adorable little fluff balls, but also very chaotic at times. Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, my cat, it can be quite lovable, huggable, and pettable. It would, at winter, would snuggle on my laps. But sometimes that cat the chaos it causes makes me think that it's an eldritch horror of some kind. Right now she's just chilling somewhere. I can't even see her where she's chilling because it's summer for me right now. She finds places that are just as cool as they can be. So you're a dragon. What do you mean I'm like a cat? What are you, man? I don't know where she hid now, since what chill spot she found to just relax. Anyways, back with the point at hand. Last time we had finished with painting with assistant, which I'll probably use that if I try to make like a room or a landscape where I can put a character of some sort, or with a character in it. Probably relying on the assistant, at least for the start. And we left off with working with images, which I'm curious of what this will be about, actually. You're like a cat to me, you're an adorable fluff ball that just makes me laugh. I am not an adorable fluff ball. I may be a first dragon, but I am no fluff ball. And I am not adorable. I'm fierce. And what happened to my music just now? Oh, it reached the end of that playlist. Let me start a new playlist right now. There we go. I'm running on YouTube audio library to have at least some form of background music while I do this. Working with images. Computers work with files and as painting programs. Krita works with images as a type of file that it creates and manipulates. Adorable. I can't. That way you like speak when you're adorable makes you adorable. I am not adorable. How many fears have demon dragon? I could devour your soul if I wanted to. I'll eventually probably draw myself in my real form. Eventually. Once I get the hang of drawing. What do images contain? I mean, I guess I'll read it, but only if you wanted to. Well, they do need the viewers. So don't push it. Piss me off too much and I might just do it. If you have a text document, it of course contains letters, strung in the right order, so the computer loads them as coherent sentences. Okay. Here's a word that I don't know if I'm even gonna pronounce right. What if this is raster? I think that is raster data. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. This is the main data on the paint layer you make. So this is the stroke with the paintbrush and look pixelated up close. A multi-layer file will contain several of such layers that gets overlaid on top of each other, so to make the final image. I'm gonna struggle probably with that whole layer stuff. I know when I see artists doing something like Photoshop, which I don't use because I can't pay for Photoshop, they are always using like multiple layers. I'm sure I'm gonna forget about the whole layers thing existing, and I'm gonna end up making a lot of mistakes because of that. A single layer file will usually only contain raster data. I think that's how it's pronounced, raster. Vector data. These are mathematical operations that tell the computer to drop pixels on a spot. This makes them much more scalable. Let me fix the music again. Because you just tell the operation to make the coordinate 4 times bigger to scale it up. Due to this, vector data is much more editable, lighter, but at the same time it's also much more CPU intensive, which that part kind of worries me a little bit because I only have an i5 while streaming. Although I'm streaming I have it in hardware mode, so I don't know how much trouble that's gonna cost me. Then again, I've had issues with OBS kind of eating up the CPU allocations, and I don't even know why. Operation data, stuff like the filter layer that tells Krita to change the color of a layer, but also transparency mask, group layer, and transformation mask are saved to multi-layer files. Being able to load these depend on the software that initially made the file. So Krita can load and save groups, transparency mask, and layer effects from PSD, but not load or save transform mask. What is PSD? Like it says from PSD, but what is PSD? Am I supposed to know this? I have no idea. I don't even remember seeing that word before. I don't know what this is about. This is something that at least Unreal does sometimes with the audio file. Like, they first give you the word, then they give you the abbreviation. Or at least having the word will give me an idea of, okay, what am I looking at? This is the part of where I am a dumb driver. Here's like this abbreviation here, and I don't know what it is. Metadata. Metadata is information like the creation date, author, description, and also information like DPI. Another thing, I don't know what it is. Oh, you're killing me. Why is your voice so funny and adorable? I am not adorable. I am not adorable. And I don't consider myself funny. At least not when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm not even trying to be funny. Well, more than half the time I'm not even trying to be funny. Like that time when I was playing Genshin, I accidentally said Scaradorg. That was not intentional. I am not adorable. If I try to be adorable, I'm gonna be doing voice acting on a game that doesn't have voice acting, or the sections of a voice acted game that aren't voice acted, like in Genshin. It has a lot of sections that aren't voice acted, and I do tend to have a bit of fun with that. I mean, kind of like what I did on Shovel Knight, since I voice acted like nearly the entire game, and I just went wild there. Probably my favorite one being Plague Knight, when I did his voice. Maybe fierce, but I will let you devour my soul just to call you adorable and pat your head. Oh, you cannot pat my head. Oh, no, 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 no. I will let adorable pass, even though I'm not adorable, but no head pats. I bite ya. Image size. The image size is the dimension and the resolution of the canvas. Image size has a direct effect file size of the Krita document, and pretty much any image document, pretty much. The more pixels that needs to be rendered, the higher the bit depth of the color, the heavier the resulting file will be. That, and also the format of the file, which are not saying, like PNG is always heavier than JPEG. I don't know why is JPEG still exists if PNG is actually better. As for file size, I'm gonna have to probably be careful with that and keep a decently sized image without going overboard. I wouldn't touch those horns, just a small head pad. I would let you bite me or even devour my soul. I don't know, you definitely don't wanna touch the horns. I would put you through some nightmarish hell if you touch my horns. Especially since standing a pig and I do have the ability to manipulate people's minds. Let me drink some water real quick. I feel my mouth's a little bit dry. Since it is summer for me, I am drinking quite a bit of water. Or even through hell. Yeah, right. I have traveled a multiverse. You've not seen hell like I have. DPI. Am I too far gone that just even looking at this is making me laugh? I can't say it out loud. I can't say it out loud because my head just goes somewhere else if I say it out loud. Am I that far gone? At least I'll know what these are finally. I'm not even gonna try to say it out loud. The first one stands for dot per inch. And the other one stands for pixel per inch. Maybe I've seen too much VR chat, that's why I cannot say it without laughing a bit. I might need to lay up the VR chat videos for a bit. But then again, they're so funny sometimes. In printing industry, suppose if your printer prints at 300 dots per inch, it means that it actually prints 300 dots of colors in an area equal to an inch. This means the number of pixels your artwork has in a relative area of an inch. I've been burned once by water, almost got bit by a shark on a raft, and a crab almost caught me off in pieces. Got a fish hook stick around my eye, almost got ripped out. Oh, ouch! And boiling water, since I do like to cook every once in a while, I do know what that's like. That shark one, I mean, what? What kind of waters did you take your raft to? As for crabs, that doesn't surprise me. Crabs have a mad pincer, especially the ones with the big one. Dear God, those guys have a strong pincer. But there are a lot worse. I mean, just imagine, in a nightmare where you are being eaten alive. Now that's something that... But that would be kind of messed up. Not to mention that some games have used that occasionally. And movies. And remember, we did not get any censorship. I have seen those of people actually being eaten alive, and it was very graphic. Eaten alive by a demon or something. Oh, there's many things that could eat you alive. Dogs, birds, demons, people. Dots per inch is the concern of the printer and artist while creating artwork should keep pixels per inch in mind. I have to say pixel per inch because I can't help but laugh if I say it. According to the pixels per inch you have set, the printer can decide how large your image should be on a piece of paper. Alright, the void can also eat your life. That's what I once experienced. We can ignore that though. Oh, that reminds me, I really want to play Void Train. I haven't played that one, but I will probably try and play it with Jen probably, since I think it would be a much better experience in multiplayer. Unless I can find more people to collab with. I have not played neither Void Train nor Raft, and those games are very alike. I don't know why, I really like crafting games. And monster catching ones. Couldn't find myself another one. Maybe once I'm done with Rebel Galaxy, I'll look at what games I have for like the around crafting or monster catching. According to Joseph of the Fortress Mechanic, word I cannot pronounce, Cardinal, you're guilty of being ruthless. You don't say! Of course I'm ruthless! Some standards 72 pixels per inch. Why inch? This is the default pixels per inch of monitors as assumed by all programs. It is not fully correct as most monitors these days have 125 pixels per inch or even 300 pixels per inch for the retina device. Nonetheless, when making an image for computer consumption, this is the default, of which, at least for now, since now we have 4K monitors available, which I don't have one, but I guess that this standard will eventually change, if not soon. Get a new nickname, achievement. I am no crap. Oh, hell no. I have no pincers, I have claws. I accidentally imagined the image. Yeah, that was a funny image. I can't imagine what you were picturing there, but I am not a crap. I do not have those pincers. I have claws, sharp claws. I can tear through pretty much anything, including entire dimension. I mean, I use my claws to make dimensional holes to travel between realities. Closing them is a whole nother story. 120 pixels per inch is often used as a standard for low quality posters. 300 is the minimum you should use for quality prints. 600 the quality used for line art for comics. Wait, 600 is for comics? That's unexpected. Grab with your hair and arms on and after. I may be able to shapeshift. I will never take the shape of a crab unless paid. And yes, my transformations aren't perfect because I'm only half demon dragon. Color depth. We went over color depth in the color management page. What you need to understand is that Krita has image color spaces and layer color spaces. The latter, which can save memory if used right, for example having a line art layer in grayscale, can have the memory cost. It's too early, it's funny to wake up people from laughing, then control your own laughter. Still interesting to know that using grayscale to reduce memory usage. This might help, even though I'm not worried too much about memory because I do have a decent amount. This might help quite a bit. I'll probably use mostly grayscale for the semi-transparent layer to use as a guide. So, like, if I was to make a character, like, I have the baseline as a guide, which I need to. I know there's a Vtuber that does art. I need to ask her where I can find these templates to make drawing a little bit easier. Can't sense you making me laugh. I don't know how I'm making you laugh. I mean, you're the one imagining stuff, not me. Imagine image color space versus layer color space versus conversion. Because there are difference between image color space and layer color space, you can change only the image color space in image properties, which will leave the layer alone. But if you want to change the color space of the file including all layers, you can do it by going into image, convert image color space. This will convert all the layer color spaces as well. Main explanation as to why I would do that would be nice. Ow, ah! I cannot read that. I have no idea what you just wrote there. I can't even pronounce that. That's my language. Africans. Eh. Oh. Well, I can't even read it. I don't even know how you would read that. Author and description. I guess this will only matter if you're like making or saving the file. Swarsart is your name. Oh, so that's how you would put Blackheart in Afrikaans. Swarsart. Sounds it's very hard to pronounce. It made me almost like accidentally say something else. Krita will automatically save who created the image into the image metadata. This might help with copyright, maybe, for if someone tries to steal my art. Along with the other data such as time and date of creation and modification. Krita also shows editing time of the document in the document information dialog. Useful for professional illustrators, speed painters to keep track of the time they worked on the artwork for billing purposes. It detects when you haven't performed actions for a while and has a precision of plus minus 60 seconds. You can empty it in the document of info dialog and of course by unzipping your .kri file and editing the metadata there. I will not be able to live with you do to me. Laughing the specific. I try to learn James, yet he says Africans wrong, and you did as well. And it's fine. You never heard. No, I actually never heard of this language before. This is the first time I actually hear of this language. I don't even know where it's from. these things can be edited into file, document information, and for the others information setting, configured Krita author profile can be switched under settings, active author profile. I don't know why you would edit this since this is made automatically when you well, probably for description maybe, but everything else is created the moment you make the file, wouldn't it? Why would you go through unless you want to edit the description? I don't see why you would bother going here. Especially since the metadata can be probably used in the case of somebody stealing your art. Oh, interesting. South Africa, nice. Oh, so that's from South Africa. I don't know much about that side. Outside of when the World Cup was down there. Like, that's probably the only thing sports related I watch, like the Football World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, pretty much. I didn't know when I was watching that. I never really heard of this language. Interesting. Cape Town. What's it? Cape Town. Sounds familiar. Finish going through this section. Setting the canvas background color, which I'll probably start off by keeping it completely transparent, probably, especially if I want to make something to use with TTS. You can set the canvas background color via image background color, and transparency menu item. This allows you to turn the background color non-transparent and to change the color. This is also useful for certain file formats, which force background color instead of transparency. PNG and JPEG export use this color as the default color to fill in the transparency if you not want to export transparency. But PNG can do transparency. JPEG can't, but PNG can do transparency. I also confused Jim with Africans in if he finds out what I said. Connor, what did you tell him? If you come in from a program like Paint Tool SAI, which I'm not familiar with unless this is just regular paint, then using the option or using as canvas color ratio button at the background, so a section in new file option will allow you to work in the slightly more comfortable environment where transparency isn't depicted with checker boxes. You can tell him anything he won't know, and he can't use Google Translate since it's not always right. That's true, Google Translate sucks. There is another translation site that's actually a lot more accurate, but it's not like complete. Like, some languages aren't present on it, and how long the text can be is also limited. I don't remember what the name of the site was. But even then, I probably wouldn't even bother trying to go through that. Basic transforms. There are some basic transforms available in the image menu. Share image will allow you to skew the whole image and its layers. Will you Yeah, you definitely will, but I probably won't even try to read it because I don't even know how to pronounce any of it. Rotate. This shows a sub-menu that will allow you to rotate the image and all its layers quickly, which I think I've seen some use that, and I've also seen the memes of people like making a character that's editing an image, and when they rotate it, they also rotate their head, which defeats the purpose. Do people actually do that? That anyone that does art, like, if they like rotate the image, do you tilt your head when you do that? Mirror image horizontally and vertically, which I'll probably rely on this with some parts of drawing, like drawing some of the objects, like my spear or spear scepter. I don't really know what you call it. And my music died. Give me a sec. There we go. Are you ready to take lessons? What does... hang on. Something's kind of blocking my view. Hello means in English. Hello sounds like hello or hi. But that's how it sounds. But I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right too. Right. Oh. Mirror image. Alright, mirror image. This is... I do see myself using mirror image quite a bit. Especially if I'm making like something very symmetrical, like a table with a lot of details on it, or a weapon that's symmetrical on both sides, or I don't know, a window and its frame with several details on it. I don't know if ek or eek, how to pronounce that. What would that mean? Is? I'm guessing? I don't know what it would mean. But there are more options than that, definitely a lot more options, which I'll probably figure them out as I go by. Cropping and resizing the canvas. You can crop an image with a crop tool to cut away extra space and improve the composition, which I think there was an example when I was looking at the assist. Heck is I? That's unexpected. Trimming, using image trim to current layer. Krita resizes the image to the dimensions of the layer selected. Useful for when you paste a too large image into the layer and want to resize the canvas to the extent of this layer. What's this? Hoicom. Yeah, Hoicom means in English. Hoicom. I actually can't. I don't have any guesses. Actually, I'm not sure what it's actually saying. I can't even guess what it is. Image trim to select is faster cousin to the crop tool. This helps us to resize the canvas to the dimension of any active selection. Why? That's unexpected for such a long word for such a short one. YouTube, please stop auto-pausing my music. This is especially useful with right-clicking the layer on the layer stack and choosing select opaque image. Trim to selection will then crop the canvas to the selected bounding box. Image trim to image size is actually for layers and will trim all layers to the size of the image, making your file lighter by getting rid of invisible data. I guess I could use this if I start with a large canvas just to make sure I have room for error, and then I just use trim to layers, trim to image size to get rid of all the unnecessary space when I save the image. In English means I don't want to clean the house. You don't want to clean the house? Trying to be lazy there? Oh, that reminds me of some like Chinese TikTok videos where the husband needs to make some quick moves to look like he's doing something before the wife shows up and give him a real beating. Sometimes the other kids actually help them. Resizing the canvas. We should probably start off always with a bigger canvas for than we actually need. Maybe. You can also resize the canvas via image, resize canvas, or Control Alt C shortcut. The dialog box is shown below. Okay. This constraint portion checkbox will make sure the height and width stays in proportion to each other as you change them. Offset indicates where the new canvas space is added around the current image. You basically decide where the current image goes. If you press left button, it will go to the center left, and the new canvas space will be added to the right of the image. There are longer sentences in Afrikaans, like hey wat is jouw naam? Ik wil net like ik wil show met I cannot finish reading it. That's one of the most common sentences. How so? What does it mean? Another way to resize the canvas according to the need while drawing is when you scroll away from the end of the canvas, you can see a strip with an arrow appear. Click on it will extend the canvas in that direction. You can see the arrow marked in red in the example below. It's very faint and very hard to see it, but I do somewhat see it like right there. And it's nice that they actually added it, because maybe you messed up with the starting size, and you actually need to be bigger. I mean, hey, what is your name? I want to know because I want to be your friend, but you have to be nice. Is that really a common thing to say? That you want to be your friend, but you have to be nice? I would get up to the friend part, but you have to be nice? That part is like, what? Really? I mean, that's common sense. Like, you want to be friends with someone, you want that friend to be nice always. Like, what's the point of being friends with someone that's an asshole to you? Resizing the image. Scale image to menu size. To new size, I mean. Where did I get the menu? It's new size. Allows you to resize the whole image. Also, importantly, this is where you can change the resolution or upres your image. It took me a little while to process that one. Well, I think that's what it's saying. So, for instance, if you were initially working on 72 pixels per inch, to plug in large shapes and colors, images, etc., and now you want to really get in and some details, works 300 400 pixels per inch. This is where you would make the change. Let's say getting angry. Things about the good people is that they aren't always nice. You say one wrong thing, they just start, let's say, getting angry. I mean, that's true for pretty much everywhere you go, actually. Some places more than others. There'll always be assholes everywhere you go. Yeah, there's in Argentina, there's in the US, Africa, Europe, Asia, like wherever you go, like there's gonna be that kind of people. As there will also be good people. There are probably just where I like how much you'll encounter. I guess that kind of varies also on the culture of it. Like all other dialogues where a chain link appears, where the chain is linked, the aspect ratio is maintained to disconnect the chain. Just click on the link and two halves will separate. Like all other dialogues where the chain links appear. I'm not certainly understanding that part. let's just move on. Separating images. Okay. This powerful image manipulation feature lets you separate an image into different components or channels. This is useful for people working in print or people manipulating game textures. There's no combine functionality, but what you can do if using color output is to set two of the channels to the addition blending mode. So the thing is with Africans and English people is that they don't like each other. Most results in with fights. There's probably a history behind that, probably that leads to that sort of conflict. Like you could say the same regarding, if I remember this one show where this guy was traveling the world and showing the culture of it. He went to South Korea, but because of the history between U.S. and South Korea, he kind of got assaulted by someone because of how they were off. But that's simply because he looked American, but he was actually a British guy. They thought he was from the U.S. and they did not like him. But that was simply because of the bit of the negative history they had with each other. Like the same could be said about in their case. Like there's probably some bad history there that causes that issue. Yeah, you can say that. And god damn it, YouTube! Stop auto pausing. God damn it, I just hit the wrong button and I accidentally like hit it. There we go. Where was I? Okay, lost. Okay, I think I was reading this. Yeah, I was here. For grayscale image in the background space, you can use the copy red, copy green, and copy blue blending modes, with using the red ones for the red channel image, etc. Do you know the Muffin Man? I've heard it through several media, so I'm not exactly sure which would be the correct one actually. I can't really say for sure. The Muffin Man. I guess this is more when I guess I'll understand this part more once I actually start getting into drawing with all this whole blending mode. Although I don't really get how this would work. I might need to look up a video about this part. Unless somebody knows, and then for those watching the video, like leave it down in the comments below about what exactly this is actually saying. I'm not entirely sure if I'm understanding this properly. Saving, exporting, and opening files. When Krita creates or opens a file, it has a copy of the file in memory that it edits. This is part of the way how computers work. They make a copy of their file in the RAM. Thus, when saving, Krita takes its copy and copies it over the existing file. There is a couple of tricks you can do with saving. Save Krita saves the current image in the memory to a defined place on the hard drive. If the image hadn't been saved before, Krita will ask you where to save it. Save as makes a copy of the current file by saving it with a different name. Krita will switch to a newly made file as an active document. That's pretty common for pretty much any software, pretty much. Not just image softwares. Opens file, fairly straightforward. Export saves a file to a new location without actively opening it. Useful for when you are working on a layered file, but only need to save flattened version of it to a certain location. Where does the whole Muffin Man thing come from? Now that I think about it, from what you're saying, I know I've heard Muffin Man before, but I don't know the details. At least I cannot remember the details. Open existing document as untitled document. This is a bit of an odd one, but it opens a file and forgets where you saved it. So when you press save, it asks you where you saved it. It's also called import in other programs. Would it actually forget another software when you do an import? Where you import it from? Would it? Then again, this is not exactly something I use often. I don't remember using imports very often, except for probably when I was messing with Unity all those years back before my hard drive died and I lost everything. I would occasionally use import to bring in assets. Create copy from current image makes a new copy of the current image, similar to the open existing document as untitled document, but then with already opened files. Save incremental version. Saves a current image as file name XXX, what are they implying there? And switches the current documents to it. So similar to like using Git, I guess, like saving a history of said file. Save incremental backup. Copies and renames the last saved version of the file to backup files and save your document under the original name. Note, since Krita file's format is compressed data file, in case of corrupt or broken file, you can make it with Archive Manager and extract the content of the layers. This will help you to recover as much as possible data from the files. On Windows, you will need to rename the to file name.zip to open it. Why? Why do I need to remember to rename it to a .zip? Would like this be its own format? Again, just trying to fix it. This is something I might need to do while streaming this sort of stuff. Now that I think about it, in case like OBS or Krita like start bugging out, and like at least I'll have some form of backup existing, so I don't lose everything. But that is gonna be it for that Krita part. Next time, if I haven't decided on what to try to draw on Krita, I'll be starting with saving, autosave, and backup files. But hopefully I can make up my mind on what to draw. But for now, first a real quick YouTube outro since I'm doing this live for those watching the VOD. You can find it every Tuesdays. I will generally schedule it. You can always follow me over on my Discord to be notified more easily every time I go live on YouTube. I'm still working on getting like vStream notifications for Discord and maybe Twitter. Don't know if Kick has that function. I need to figure it out. Or maybe I need to edit that notification from the original source and add all the links. Maybe that'll help fix it. I don't know. I need to figure that stuff out. But anyways, quick little YouTube outro. So, a few things I didn't understand. I do recognize that, and I could use a bit of help. Maybe somebody explains it to me down in the comments below, or maybe links me a video that explains it with examples or with a bit more detail. In a way that I may be able to understand it. I'm no artist. Some things I won't understand. But hopefully by next Tuesday, I'll actually have an idea of what I want to draw, or maybe get a recommendation. Like if maybe you can recommend me something, put it down in the comments below. What should be the first thing I draw to start like practicing? Or you can put it down on my Discord server on the arts channel. I'll probably be asking there myself for those on my Discord to maybe give me some suggestions for both Blender and Krita, since when I stream this I do Blender and Krita and then just separate the videos to its own thing to later upload to YouTube and Vstream. For those I just care only about those specific sections. But anyways, let me switch real quick. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye! And recording stopped. There we go. And what was just saying? I forgot I was calling you cute, adorable. I am not cute. I am not adorable. I am not. No, 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 no. Now let's see. I think that would be it. I think I covered a good amount of. I know Krita didn't go for that long. Actually, I think I went for about an hour on the Krita, which is what I aim for on that. Blender won the poll, so that Blender gets the most time. And probably the one I'll have to work on the most, because I feel that I'll probably have the hardest time learning, but also probably the one I'll enjoy the most and probably make more progress there. I am not cute. Maybe fluffy, but I'm not cute. You should wait until I get the hang of drawing and I'll draw what I look like on my real form. For now I do just take smaller forms, otherwise I mean, how you be able to see me? I wouldn't be able to fit on this chair, nor use a keyboard. As well as a mouse. Let's see. That is gonna be it, like, for this whole quote-unquote art section. Hopefully by Tuesday I'll actually start doing something. Over on my Discord, I'm gonna probably on the art section ask for suggestions. Like I said, I'm no artist. I don't know how I should start. Like, from Blender, what should be the first thing I try to make that would give me a good practice to start getting the feel for it? And for Krita, what should I draw? I'm almost tempted to try and draw something for the TTS, since that's something I'm trying to get working, like check that up and running. But I don't have anything, no images, no GIFs, no nothing. Bodies? I don't know if bodies would be the right choice. And that would depend also again, will it be on Krita or will it be on Blender? Because Blender I'm probably gonna have to wait till I actually start making a model. Models are quite complex, even if it is low poly. That, and I don't know how to use a mirror tool on Blender. I'm sure Blender has a mirror tool. I have no idea how to use it though. I'm gonna have to go through the menu a little bit and find it. By drawing bodies, you can do poses and then you can learn more. You can do the faces and then clothes and hair and hands. That is true. And I can always use the mirror function to make drawing some things like better, like drawing the eyes to make sure they're in the right position and properly symmetrical. Same goes for the horns. If I were to draw myself, maybe I try to draw myself a tiny little kobold for TTS. Who knows? I'm trying to get TTS working mainly for V-Streams alerts, since there is no other way to have alerts outside of TTS that I know of, at least. Same goes for YouTube. For YouTube, I'm using Stream Elements, but Stream Elements has been quite buggy lately, and it's been very delayed from giving me my notifications. Yeah, you should draw a tiny dragon of yourself. I'm not drawing a chibi version of me. Although that wouldn't be too bad either, wouldn't it? But I know if I do make a chibi version of me, you guys are gonna torture me with the adorableness. And I'm not adorable! Leave suggestions down on my Discord. I'm probably gonna ask there, and plus, like I say, I need suggestions for both, for Krita and Blender. And Blender's probably gonna be some random inanimate object, but I just don't know what would be a good choice there. Drawing, yeah, maybe drawing a character or a creature would be a good thing. But I would like to take care of you. I am not adorable, and I will be a menace. Let's see. I would also like to make some actual modes at one point. I would love to commission them, but I don't have money. That's why I might actually want to make those. Well, the chibi version might actually be useful for the emotes, maybe. Who knows? Diminished dragon doesn't see someone who is adorable. Let's see. I am not adorable. I'm a demon dragon. What do you expect? I will always be a menace. Especially towards birds. Birds are evil. I will always burn evil birds. And maybe eat them later. Oh, now it's making me hungry. I haven't had any chicken in a while. Now let's see. What time is it? 12:30 in the morning. I think this will be a good place to leave it. I'll probably continue this whole discussion over on my Discord a little bit. And not if you put it in a planet alone, and I would probably help you with ruling that world, and you could be I mean, technically, I do rule the reality where I'm from, technically speaking. So I can take over any reality I wanted. I just enjoy games too much, and ruling over a place would take time away from gaming. Although I do need to make money somehow. I mean, games aren't free. Well, except for the occasional weekly free from Epic. Also the one I live in. And why rule over this world? This world is already as messed up as it is. Why would I want to rule over it? And YouTube just decided to kill my music again. Let me put this down. Actually, while I talk, might as well look into who I can meter show on V-Stream site, since YouTube doesn't have any rate system. And I actually don't know who to rate over on Kick, if Kick has any rate mechanic. I need to start watching some Kick streamers to have someone to raid whenever I'm done streaming. It's not tasty at all. Are you sure about that? The only souls that aren't tasty as those like self-righteous pretentious pricks. Those souls taste like rot. But other souls, they're a delicacy. And ooh, Kilakuma's actually streaming. She's an artist. I might actually be able to ask her for where I can find maybe some templates to like get started, or maybe get some suggestions from her. She's using Blender right now, after all, making herself a new model. Like, she's someone who knows her shit. I believe she even drew her her reference sheet. I'm telling Jim, I don't think he can do much. Like I said, I'm a demon dragon. He's just a human. What can he do against me? Oh wow, I gotta admit, Kila Kuma is doing an amazing job with her model. Alright, I need to mute that desktop real quick, because I don't want her outage to be coming through OBS and getting me into trouble. Are you fully muted? Yep. Let me just pause the music. He can try and he will fail. Like I said, he's just a human. I'm a demon dragon. He probably wouldn't even be able to pick up my claws. Actually, no, probably. He definitely wouldn't be able to pick up my claws. Much less my tail. I'm gonna have the meteor shower all set up for V-Stream. I kinda wish I could show it what she's doing, but I'm too afraid of getting into a bit of trouble with like copyright and shit like that. But she is doing an amazing work with what she's doing. God damn. Slash meteor shower. I'm taking you to Lord Musan. He will decide what happens. Lord Musan? Lord Musan? Who the devil is Lord Musan? A chew toy? But no, Lord Musan doesn't sound familiar at all. Is that from Genshin or Honkai? I'm not sure, actually. Ow, I just hit my desk. Let's see. Tomorrow, aside from the Unreal, which hopefully we can actually do, depending on the weather and if we don't have anything else to do IRL, I'll be doing, at the current time, Genshin still on Wednesday. I might actually put a poll, or maybe put in the game suggestion, maybe, of what you guys would like to watch on Wednesday. Should I keep on doing Genshin, or would you guys want me to play something else on Wednesdays? what should I play on Wednesdays? Right now, it's still gonna be Genshin for now until I can like decide should I still leave it as a Genshin and do Genshin twice a week, or maybe add something different. You give a bit more variety. Do you know who Musan is? Does not sound familiar. Musan doesn't sound familiar to me. I cannot. No, the name does not ring any bells. Oh great, one of my OBS docs isn't working. If I refresh that dock, it'll fix itself. Wait, is it? Did refreshing actually fix it? No, I don't think it fixed it. Slow motion is gonna be mad at you. Okay, there, yeah, I fixed it. Like I said, who the hell is slow motion? Some kind of chew toy of some sort? I mean, it's one of those annoying squeaky ones like the rubber chicken. Is that sound he's gonna make when I bite down on him? I mean, not even Lord Zeus from one of the messed up realities that I destroyed could do anything. Mission is the Demon King. Demon King, right? Nothing compared to Demon Dragons. The only thing that could probably stand up to Demon Dragons are Angel Dragons. The other guys are just either lazy bums, dumb, or disappointment. So they just don't bother with us. They just let us be. And try to be all cutesy. Nah. Demon dragons are on the top of the food chain. There's nothing stronger than us. Like I said, not even gods can take on us. Yes, upper moons, he can control demons and feed on humans, so it would be extreme luck if I get him to listen to me. Oh, he'll probably eat you. And he can't control me. Demons are beneath demon dragons. Even he is a demon king. He's still beneath the demon dragons. Heck, I think I even turned him into a little yo-yo in my reality. Just tied him up and just started using him as a little yo-yo, simply out of boredom. Gotta kill time somehow. I'm nothing but a mere human. I can't do nothing. Well, you can always be entertaining some way. I mean, I do enjoy chatting with you. What did I just hear? Alright, I have her audio on right now. My goodness, that's a lot of bones there. Oh, Reagan is gonna be a bitch now that I think about it for Blender. I have never done any Reagan, so I would probably have no idea how I'm gonna be handling the bones, especially with how fluffy my hair is. I want to give some movement to that somehow, and I think bones might be the way to go. Maybe. If you hurt him anyway, it'll mean war. Right, he knows not to mess with a demon dragon. Anyways, I think I should actually highlight there. It is almost 1 in the morning. I do have things to do tomorrow morning, a little bit early. Amongst those, help take care of my baby brother. And because he had his shots today, his vaccines, he's gonna be grumpy for probably tomorrow as well. Especially they can say given like 3 shots. Poor little guy. Anyway, yeah, I better just go to bed. Like I said, I gotta get up early tomorrow. I'm up for any suggestions on the art section, especially if anyone knows where I can get some like templates to use to guide myself on like where to put the eyes, where to put the other characteristics of the face, or like maybe getting something to start working with. And hopefully for next Tuesday I can actually do something more hands-on, something more practical, and maybe even more entertaining than just having me read through some of the tutorials from the site itself. I'll probably end up going back to the tutorials at some point where I'm just clueless on what the hell I'm doing and need to achieve something, I just don't know how to go about it. It can be a match for if I'm fighting for Jim. Not really, no. Jim is there also a mere human. If you had an army of humans, I would just breathe my flame and reduce them all to ashes, and then just devour their souls. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right now. So I won't be able to understand you at all, but you do you. I don't think there's much I can do for you. I think the only person you'll end up torturing is one of my other viewers, Sophia. Ooh, I remember Mila tortured her quite a bit with some Japanese the other day. That was quite a joy to watch. Oh, I love it when there's chaos in the chat. That's probably my favorite part of when I'm streaming, when chat starts becoming chaos. But anyways, I'm gonna end it there right now, so I need to get some sleep. I gotta get up early tomorrow, gotta take care of a few things. And I'm not looking forward to, like, 2 weeks from now we'll actually have to get up really early because of my baby brother. But oh well. Tomorrow will be some Genshin Impact. Hopefully there's a new event or something, because I think when I went on today there was some weird dialogue that wasn't voice acted, but I couldn't finish reading it, but I didn't look if there was any new event or anything like that. To try and get some primos and pull for Raiden Shogun. Oh god, please, I need that Bua Blade on the team. God damn it. Hopefully I get lucky. Hopefully. I need Raiden Shogun. But anyways, that is gonna be it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope to see you all next time. Come on there. Oh crap. Uh-oh. Come on. Okay, there we go. Meteor shower's on. I was like, why is the meteor shower starting? Okay, anyways. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.